Here we go. Learning English isn't about grinding for 5 hours on one random Sunday when you suddenly feel motivated. It's more like brushing your teeth. You don't wait until your teeth are falling apart and then brush for 3 hours hoping to fix everything. You brush a little every single day, even when you're tired, even when you're busy, even when life is doing the absolute most. And that tiny, simple daily action, it keeps your smile alive. English works the exact same way. See, your brain learns through repetition. It doesn't learn from one giant study session followed by 2 weeks of doing absolutely nothing. It learns from the small things you repeat again and again. When you hear the same phrase multiple times, your brain is like, "Oh, bet, I know this one." When you speak a little every day, your mouth gets used to the movement, and suddenly the words start flowing out smoother, faster, and way more confidently. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Consistency isn't about studying hard. It's about showing up. Even 10 minutes a day is enough to start changing your English, because every time you practice even just a bit, you remind your brain, "Hey, we use English now." And your brain responds by building new pathways, strengthening your memory, and making English feel less like a school subject and more like a natural part of your daily life. At the beginning, speaking English can feel awkward. You pause, you translate in your head, you worry about sounding weird. But those are just day one problems. When you keep practicing daily, something starts to shift. Your tongue moves easier. Your brain panics less. Your sentences come out quicker. And your confidence slowly levels up. Not in one big jump, but in tiny, steady steps that actually last. The truth is, small daily practice beats big random effort every single time. Because consistency is where transformation happens. It's in the 15 minutes before bed, the little podcast you listen to while making ramen, the sentence you shadow while brushing your hair, the quick paragraph you write while waiting for your Uber. The tiny things add up in a way big things never will. Think of learning English like planting a tree. You don't water it once and scream, "Why aren't you tall yet?" You water it a little every day. You take care of it even when you don't see results yet. You trust that something is happening underground. And then one day, out of nowhere, you look at your English and think, "Wait, I'm kind of good now?" That's the magic of consistency. It's low-key, but life-changing. And your English journey starts exactly there with small steps, repeated daily, until they become your superpower. So now you know this. Small daily practice is powerful. But maybe you're thinking, "Okay, cool. But what do I actually do in those 15 minutes? Don't worry, I got you. Let's break it down into 5 super simple ways to practice English every day without feeling overwhelmed or bored. 1. Listen to English, easy mode. You don't need a big, serious lesson. Just pick a short podcast, a YouTube video for English learners, or a simple story. Press play while you're doing something chill. Making breakfast, cleaning your room, walking to school. You don't have to understand every word. Just listen and try to catch the mood, some familiar words, and a few new phrases. Your ears are training, even if your brain feels relaxed. 2. Shadow one short sentence. Shadowing means you listen and speak at the same time, like an echo. Choose one sentence from a video. For example, "I'm going to the store." Play it. Pause. Say it with the speaker. Copy the sound, the rhythm, the speed. Do it again and again. Yes, you might feel a little silly at first, but that's okay. That's how you improve your pronunciation and speaking flow. One sentence a day equals real progress over time. 3. Read something small but interesting. You don't have to read a whole book. Just one short story, a tiny news article, or even a simple post in English. Read slowly. When you see a new word, try to guess the meaning from the sentence. If it's still confusing, you can look it up, but don't stop every 2 seconds. The goal is to enjoy reading, not suffer. Reading shows you real English in action. How sentences are built, how words connect, and how people actually talk. 4. Write one short paragraph. Grab your phone or a notebook and write 3 5-sentences. That's it. You can write about your day. "Today I woke up late. I went to school. I felt tired. but I finished my homework. Or, write your plans for tomorrow. Or your feelings. Or something funny that happened. Writing helps your brain organize thoughts in English. It also shows you what grammar and words you need to practice more. 5. Talk to yourself out loud. This one sounds weird, but it's low-key powerful. When you're alone, talk about what you're doing. I'm making coffee. I'm putting on my shoes. I'm getting ready to go out. You're basically turning your daily life into an English lesson. No one is judging you, no one is grading you, it's just you and your voice, getting more comfortable with English. You don't have to do all 5 things every day. Just pick 1 or 2. Mix them during the week. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to keep English alive in your day, like a friend you talk to often, not a school subject you only see before exams. Here's the funny thing about improvement. It doesn't usually show up with fireworks. It shows up quietly, softly, like a glow-up you don't notice until someone else points it out. And when you practice English every day, even just a little, you start building real progress in 3 stages. 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. After 1 day, something small but powerful happens. You feel proud. You're like, hey, I actually did something today. Maybe you learned 1 new word. Maybe you finally understood a sentence you used to ignore. Maybe you heard someone say, how's it going? And you actually knew what it meant. These are tiny wins, but they matter because they tell your brain, we're doing this. We're becoming an English person now. 1 day won't change everything, but it creates the spark. After 1 week, the spark becomes a little flame. You've practiced for 7 days straight. That's huge. Your brain starts getting comfortable with English. You notice something interesting. You stop translating every word in your head. You start guessing meanings from context. And you're right most of the time. Sometimes you get it wrong. Sure, but that's part of the journey. You see a sentence like, I'm heading to the store, and your brain automatically goes, oh yeah, that just means I'm going to the store. A week of practice gives your brain enough repetition to relax and stop panicking every time it hears English. After 1 month, everything feels different. You don't panic when you hear English. You don't freeze. Your brain feels familiar with the sounds, the patterns, the rhythm. Speaking becomes easier, you talk faster, your mouth moves smoother, and you don't rely on the dictionary every 5 seconds. You also feel braver. You're less afraid to try, less scared of mistakes. You don't feel like an imposter anymore. Instead, you feel like someone who is actually learning, growing, improving. Confidence doesn't show up overnight. It grows slowly, like a small plant. Every time you practice English, even just a little, you water that plant. And after a month, you look at yourself and think, wow, I'm really doing this. Daily practice isn't about studying hard. It's about creating tiny progress that stacks up until your English feels natural, not forced. That's the magic of consistency. It turns effort into habit and habit into confidence. Being motivated for 1 day is easy. Being consistent for many days? That's the real boss level. The truth is, most people don't fail because they're bad at English. They fail because they stop. So let's talk about how to keep going even when you're tired, busy, or just not in the mood. 1. Use a simple calendar or checklist. You don't need a fancy app. You can use your notes app, a paper calendar, or even a sticky note on your wall. Write the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. Every day you practice English, no matter how small, put a UA or a big fat X on that day. After a few days, you'll see a little chain of wins in front of you, and your brain will be like, wait, I don't want to break this streak. That visual progress makes you feel proud and pushes you to keep going. 1 checkmark doesn't feel powerful, but a whole row of them? That feels like you're building a new version of yourself. 2. Set a 10-15 minute timer. Your brain loves to lie to you and say, we don't have time today. But let's be honest, you definitely have 10 minutes. You spend more than that just scrolling. So here's the trick. Tell yourself, I'll just practice for 10 minutes. That's it. Set a timer on your phone. For those 10 minutes, focus only on English. Listening, reading, shadowing, or writing. When the timer ends, you are free. You can stop without guilt. Sometimes you'll stop after 10 minutes. Sometimes you'll feel good and keep going. Either way, you win because you showed up. 3. Choose the same time every day. Your brain loves patterns. If you practice whenever you feel like it, you'll skip a lot of days. But if you choose one regular time, English becomes part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or making your bed. Maybe you practice in the morning while drinking coffee, or at night before sleep, or on the bus, or during your lunch break. Pick a time that actually works for your life and stick with it. When English has a fixed time in your day, it stops being a struggle and starts being a habit. Sit. Make it easy and fun, not painful. If you force yourself to read boring topics or watch videos you hate, you're not going to last long. Choose things you actually enjoy. If you like cooking, read recipes in English or watch a cooking video. If you love travel, watch short travel clips in English. If you enjoy music, look up lyrics or sing along to an English song. Also, keep your tools ready. Save a podcast, bookmark a short story, keep a notebook or notes app prepared. When everything is easy to find, it becomes easy to start. And starting is always the hardest part. Consistency isn't about being perfect every day. It's about making English simple, light, and part of your real life. The easier and more fun you make it, the longer you'll stay in the game. Imagine you plant a tiny seed in the ground. On the first day, you water it and nothing happens. No leaves, no flowers, no big dramatic moment. On the second day, same thing. On the third day, it still looks like just dirt. If you're impatient, you'll say, "This is useless," and walk away. But if you keep watering it, something invisible is happening underground. The roots are growing before the leaves appear. That is exactly how your English works. When you practice for 10-15 minutes every day, it might feel small, almost too small. You might think, this can't make a big difference. But that's your brain judging the seed before it becomes a tree. Every short listening session, every little paragraph, every sentence you shadow, every word you read is like a drop of water. Alone, it looks tiny. Together, it becomes life-changing. At first, your progress will be quiet. You may not notice any big change in a day or a week, but then one day, someone speaks English to you, and you understand faster than before. Or you watch a video with no subtitles and realize, wait, I actually get most of this. Or you open your mouth to speak, and the words come out smoother, without you fighting for every single one. That moment is your tree finally breaking through the ground. Consistency is not dramatic. It's not flashy. It doesn't feel like a movie scene. It's more like breathing. Simple, repetitive, but absolutely necessary. The magic is not in one perfect study session. The magic is in not quitting. Even on tired days, even on busy days, even when your mood is low, but you still give English 5 or 10 minutes. Some days your practice will feel amazing. You'll learn new words, feel powerful, and think, I'm unstoppable. Other days, you'll feel slow and distracted. That's okay. Trees don't grow at the same speed every day either. What matters is that you don't stop showing up for yourself. You don't need to be talented. You don't need to be naturally good at languages. You just need to be a little bit stubborn about your future. Stubborn enough to keep going, even when results are not obvious yet. Your future self, the one who speaks English confidently, travels easily, makes friends from other countries, studies or works abroad, that version of you is built by what you do for a few minutes today. So think of this. Every time you choose to practice instead of giving up, you are planting another root. Every day you listen, read, write, or speak, you are helping your English tree grow taller and stronger. One day, you'll look back and realize it didn't happen from one big moment. It happened from thousands of small moments you didn't give up. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from experience. And with daily practice, you're not just learning English. You're proving to yourself that you can grow, slowly but surely, like a tree that never stops reaching for the sky.